What can you see? Where you at?
About like
Here
right
we are?
under the second button. Yeah,
Perfect.
actually, that is it.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn this on and see if the audio is good from over here, and if not, unfortunately, my lav mic is broken. Someone else, not me, I swear. But so unfortunately, that has made this a little bit more difficult.
No problem. And, we could put that on a chair and scoot it close.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you want to do that?
That would work for me.
Okay.
That would work for me. Okay. So it's over here. All right. Do you mind if I go and run and grab my headphones real
Oh,
fast?
you do what you need to do.
You are awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Be right back. All right. Thank you. Sorry about that. Alrighty. And so, to start off, we're going to do, the typical, I'm going to ask you your name and your title, and if you could say and spell the name
Sure.
for me. All right, and you can go ahead and start now, or whenever you're ready.
Sure. Nathaniel Moran, Nathaniel, United States Congressman.
Perfect. What district are you in?
First District of Texas.
All right. I was pretty sure if I wanted to check. Was it down so we're looking at each other? All right, so what is, as a congressman, what do you think of our president dropping out of the presidential race today?
Today, as President Biden got out of the race for the Democratic nominee for president, it became apparent that the Democratic Party really does not care about what its own constituents think. Because, as you look back over the last year, 14 million plus individuals voted for President Biden to be on the Democratic ticket. And now the party bosses are simply throwing all those votes away and deciding from the top down who should be their nominee. This is interesting. As a party that claims to be a party of the working man, they're simply ignoring what the working man had decided in that process and making the decision from the top. You also look at something that we've known for a long time now. We've talked about the fact that President Biden has really not been fit mentally for a long time, and they've been telling us, no, there's nothing to see here. It's not true. But now, when it's politically expedient, they're throwing him under the bus. This is something they've known for a long time, and they've not been telling us the truth. And then really the third thing that is very evident in all this is Republican message doesn't change, because regardless of who they put in as the nominee, the policies are still the same. We're still going to be talking about the same failed policies of the Biden administration and the Democratic Party, and the Republicans need to continue to talk about policies, regardless of who their nominee is as a person.
Absolutely. And there is some talk of potential legal repercussions given that they're changing the Democratic candidate so late in the game. I was just wondering what you think is possible, if you think Republicans might pursue legal avenues after this change.
Well, we're going to have to see how the Democratic Convention unfolds next month, but certainly there's a lot of legal challenges as to timing and to the ability to put somebody new on the ballot on behalf of the Democrats. As you get closer, each state has a different way of doing that, and each state laws have to be respected. This is what I said at the beginning, is the Democratic Party bosses are simply ignoring the will of their own constituents who elected Biden to be their nominee, and they are trying to circumvent that and bring in somebody new at the last minute, and they're likely going to try to circumvent some of the state laws along the way too. So I would expect to see some challenges.
Absolutely. So given that, so President Biden has over 50 years or so of experience in the political realm. Now there's the potential endorsement of Kamala Harris that she's accepted. What do you say to the fact that he has so much experience and is now dropping out?
Regardless of the experience of President Biden, his policies were always wrong. They've been wrong for 50 years. They continue to be wrong. And Kamala Harris, it was part of that policy-making process over the past 3.5 years. In fact, she was the border czar. And if there was the biggest failure of the Biden administration we can point to, it was on the border. And it was on her shoulders to do something about it, and she did not. So I don't think it matters really if it's Biden or if it's Kamala Harris or if it's another Democrat. We're talking about the same failed policies of the Democratic Party. And the Republicans, you need to stay united around. We need to stay united around a message of securing our border, reducing spending and debt and regulations, increasing individual freedom, and being restoring strength to the White House instead of weakness.
Absolutely. Now, you already mentioned some about the Democratic National Convention coming up. What do you think fellow Republicans will be looking for at that DNC?
I wish I could be a fly on the wall at the DNC because, in truth, I think it's going to be a dumpster fire. I don't think the Democrats know what they're going to do from here until then, and I suspect you're going to see a lot of disagreement on the floor. We'll see how it unfolds, but again, Republicans just need to stay on message and continue to talk about individual liberty, lower taxes, lower regulations, lower spending, lower debt, re-energizing our energy sector. Those are border security. Those are the messages that win with the American people, regardless of who the person is on the other side.
Absolutely. So, given that, Biden has just gone through this campaign, and he had that press conference, and they've been trying to show, it appears to be a strength, and then shortly after he dropped out. What do you think about the time that we have spent watching his attempt at campaigning, followed by this development?
Anybody that's been paying attention the last year has known that President Biden's mental acuity was below where it needs to be in the office of the president. Back in April, I raised this issue when I questioned Special Counsel Hur and specifically asked about this and made this point that he was not fit to be president mentally. But the Democrats have been hiding behind lies. You talk about the people in the inner circle of the White House. They've been keeping him hidden from everybody else and trying to tell everybody else that he was doing just fine. We all knew the truth, and the truth was he was not. Now their lies have been exposed, so there are some questions to be answered by those who have been lying to us for so many months.
Absolutely. What do you want to say to voters here in Texas?
My message to voters is the same today as it was last week and will be the same next week, and that is, this is an election about policies. It's either the failed Democratic policies of the liberal left and Biden and Kamala Harris, who have been at the top of that in the last 3.5 years, or it's the successful policies of former President Trump to restore strength in this world, to restore energy independence around the world, to lower taxation, regulation, secure our border, restore the sovereignty of the United States, to do all the things that we need in this United States to have individual liberty and corporate liberty. Those are the difference in policies, and that's what this election is about. It's not about personality necessarily. It's about the policies in which direction America needs to go.
Absolutely. Is there anything that I haven't thought to ask about that you would like to share?
No.
All right, perfect. Anything else?
Thank you. You did great.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Well, I got a lot of help from Michaela. She gave me a lot of ideas.
Fantastic.